My name is Anna Heinen and I am a teaching artist with Artists Creating Together. Today I am going to show you a project inspired by American artist Kehinde Wiley, where he takes naturalistic figures in oil painting and pairs them with detailed, intricate backgrounds. The artist that has inspired today's project is artist Kehinde Wiley. Kehinde Wiley paints very naturalistic figures and then incorporates them with very intricate designs for backgrounds. His backgrounds are inspired by mid-century wallpapers, Victorian wallpapers, florals, and all other sorts of designs. As you can see here, he's got some florals that are paired with these two women. Here is a painting of a boy with floral backgrounds. As you can see here, he puts the background over top of his main subject to provide visual interest and visual tension within his paintings. Here's another painting he's done. He's done the painting of former President Barack Obama. In this painting, he's put the leaves surrounding the legs of the figure and the chair. This helps the viewer to kind of have that visual tension so they don't really know what's in the foreground and what's in the background. The foreground is the subject in the front and the background is the subject in the back. This helps visual interest and visual depth. These are two drawings that I have done up in advance to show two examples of projects that are inspired by artist Kehinde Wiley. Here I have two figures done in two different styles. This one was done in a ballpoint pen in a very contour line drawing style. This one was done with a charcoal stick in a very sketchy style. The backgrounds are also very different. This one was done with acrylic paint and then has line designs for the background style. This one was done with marker and floral designs. As you can see, like artist Kehinde Wiley, I have put the background designs over top of my figures to create that visual tension. In this one, I have put the flowers in front of the figure here to also help create the visual depth. To start out for this project, you will need some sort of paper. I have this old pad of mixed media paper laying around my house. It's just plain white paper. Any kind of plain white paper will do. Or if you wanted to use construction paper, that way your background is already kind of filled out. You can use whatever sort of paper you would like. I also have some colored pencils. Any kind of colored pencils you have will work. You can also use crayons or markers. Over here, I have some brush markers. And I also have some chalk, or soft pastels, or chalk will work. You could even do watercolor. I have acrylic paint. Whatever colors of acrylic paint you have will work for this project. If you use acrylic paint, you'll need some types of brushes, and you'll need a paper plate and some sort of water cup. I also have a charcoal stick. Charcoal sticks I've seen them in forms of charcoal pencils. For this project, you can really be creative and use whatever kind of materials you have laying around your house. So these are just some examples of some materials you might have at your house that you can use to work on this project. To start out, we are going to first start by drawing our figure for this project. Your figure can be a self-portrait drawn from a mirror or an image. It can be a group of people drawn from the real life or from a picture you may have. So first things first is start out by drawing your figure. You can use whatever materials you have. You can use your markers or your colored pencils. I'm going to start by using my charcoal stick, and I am going to draw a portrait. So just go right ahead, decide where you want your portrait to be on your picture, You could have it being down in the corner, you could have it being center stage, you can have it taking up the whole picture, or you can have it taking up just a small section. Now, once you've finished your portrait, we can start to think about the backgrounds. Your portrait could have been done in any style that you want. It could have been done in a line drawing, like we have over here for this example. You could have done a contour line drawing. I just did this one in a ballpoint pen. Or you could have done a very sketchy portrait. As you can see, this one, I didn't do any blending with it. I just kind of sketched the figure on there and made it look very, very artistic. Whereas with this one, I did more blending and trying to make it look more naturalistic. Once you have your figure drawn, you can take a scrap piece of paper and you can experiment with all of your different materials that you've found in your house for how you want your background design to be. You could take a marker and you could do polka dots. Or you could take some colored pencils and you could draw really intricate flowers. We have a flower and we have our polka dots. You can take this piece of paper and you can really experiment with the different designs that you could possibly do. You can practice doing swirls. This piece of paper is kind of your inspiration. Kind of think about what kind of designs you want to try out. If you've never worked with a certain material before, this is how you can get yourself familiar to it. Kind of play with the way that the materials work, learn their strengths and their weaknesses, learn what materials are better for what things. So if you want to cover large areas of space, if you have a thicker marker, or like here I have some thick pastels, those would probably be good for covering lots of areas. If you want to do little detailed work, your pencils are probably the best bet for that. So really use a piece of paper, scrap piece of paper, and practice what kind of designs you would like. Inspire yourself. Maybe mix some materials together and learn what's best. Once you've come up with a pattern or a design or some type of floral, or you could even do animals, or if you really wanted to, you could do like sports team logos. Once you practice and get how you want your background decided, we will then transfer it onto the piece of paper with your portrait. So I'm back with my portrait, and what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my pastels and I'm going to cover the whole background color with a pastel. Decided to go with the color green. Cover my whole background with the color green. I'm using the fat side and kind of dragging it along the image. This would work well if you had crayons and you can take the paper that's wrapped around them and you can use the crayon on its side. This also is similar to that technique. For around the edges of my figure or my portrait, and kind of turning it, and I'm kind of using the tip. That will get me a nice crisp line. Now, I've decided from my inspiration page, I really liked my zigzags that I did. And then I had went over and I had seen how the chalk, or excuse me, the pastel would look compared with it. And I kind of like the way that looks. And I liked these zigzags that I had experimented with. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer those zigzag patterns onto my portrait. I'm using a red brush marker, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of my zigzags in front of my figure to kind of help create that visual interest and visual depth that artist Kehinde Wiley did. Here is 3 different ways of doing portraits inspired by Kehinde Wiley. We have the one we did in a more naturalistic style with pastel and marker background. We have this one that's done in a contour line drawing with a design background done with acrylic paint. And we have this one done in a very sketchy style with a charcoal stick and marker background done in florals. I can't wait to see what everybody decides to create, and I hope everybody enjoys this project.